What's up all you Clashers, this is Kaz and welcome to Kaz Gaming. Okay, in this video I'll be showing you my new Skeletica build. Is it the perfect build for Skelly? I'll let you be the judge. Okay, if you guys have seen my last Skeletica build video, then you know I went with 8 of 8 Scorch. And if you want to see how an 8 of 8 Scorch works on a Skeletica, then I welcome you to go check out that video. It's not bad, it's pretty good. And I did enjoy watching it work when it did work, but it was also rather disappointing when it didn't work. You know, sure, she was hard to kill, but she just didn't do enough damage for me. I felt like there was something missing, like she was underutilized, you know. Now you pick Scorch for the survivability, and of course sometimes Scorch wouldn't trigger and then she would just get dropped anyway. And not to mention, watching a battle between a Scorch Skelly versus a Scorch Skelly is just painful. So I wanted to change it, and I was thinking about changing it for a long time, and I kept going back and forth on what I should change it to and the benefits that I would get from changing it. And of course I had already spent all of that fame on Scorch. Now, there were 3 things that I knew about Skeletica that made me think about changing it, or helped me to decide to change it. Number 1, the high dodge rate from her traits was working beautifully. She'd be surrounded by a bunch of heroes, and it's still miss, right? That's got nothing to do with Scorch, that's all just from her traits. Number 2, she has the highest single hit AoE damage in the game. Number 3, the more damage that she does, the more she heals for it. That's how her skill works. So 1, I knew I wouldn't be losing too much survivability because I wouldn't change her traits. She would still have all that dodge. Number 2, I would be capitalizing on that high hit damage. So if all the heroes are in one spot, Skeletica hits that whole area, all those heroes take all that damage. And number 3, of course, you know, the higher the damage, the more she's going to heal for. So you would actually be gaining some survivability from that. Also, in her skill is sort of a built-in Scorch. And what I mean by that is she is just like Demo, where a certain period of time she is immune to damage, or she doesn't take damage, right? I believe that's 3.5 seconds, and the cooldown is 5 seconds. So there's only 1.5 seconds. I mean, if she continues to proc, right, there's only 1.5 seconds where you can do damage to her. And I think that's why a lot of people go with Scorch, is to try and fill that gap, right? But for me, you know, it just wasn't happening enough. I didn't like the way it was performing, and I definitely wanted to get more out of her. So then I started to do the damage and heal calculations. And as I always do, I go a little bit too deep into these things when I try to judge the benefits of one build over another, but that's just me, you know. And in case you guys were curious, those numbers roughly came out to be about 220k plus damage, which would equate to about 90k plus heal. And I even accounted for a possible critical hit, which would be over 330k damage. Now, those numbers are just too tasty to ignore. I mean, you're talking the possibility of one-shotting several heroes. So that's compared to the Scorched Skeletica, that's more than twice the damage and nearly 3 times the heal, right? So let's see, why would I calculate critical hit, you might ask? She doesn't have any critical hit. She has a natural critical hit of 0. Well, this was all planned for. I had given her a critical hit in her traits, and I will go over more of that as the video continues. And yeah, that's about it. That's the reason why I changed it. So of course you know that I went in a more damage oriented direction. So let's just go and check out that Skeletica build right now. Okay, so we can see, of course, it is maximum destiny bonus for her. She is 12 of 12. And I'll get into the destiny bonus in a second. Of course, we have the 8 of 8 War God. And I'll go right into the traits from here. I don't know if you guys remember from the last video, I did have a 5 of 5, I think it's called Malaise, where 2 guys can't heal. And that was actually working out pretty good, but of course I rolled this 5 of 5 victory lunge, and I couldn't help myself, I just put it on her. And so we can see right there the dodge is 32.5%, while the crit is 9%, so it's gonna look like this. I have all level 5 dodge traits with 1 level 5 crit trait. And that crit trait, I think, is what actually puts this build over the top. It gives that tiny amount of crit chance to cause that really high damage I talked about earlier. And 2 things happened very recently that really put an icing on this build, or frost on the cake, if you will. And that's we got 2 new talents, right? Empower and Sharpen, and I'll go over those. And of course we got the destiny bonuses, and the destiny bonus just worked out perfectly. If I go back into when you do get to maximum, it is a really good add-on. I mean, everything just fits into what this build is. So you've got the extra attack in there, you've got the extra health in there, additional dodge, as well as additional crit chance. So everything that I was trying to do has been enhanced by the destiny bonuses. So everything is just fitting together really well. There's a couple of different ways that I set her up. So we can I either do one of 2 things, and that's maximum dodge. So I'll do something like place her in the lightning rock. I kind of use lightning rock mostly all the time, to tell you the truth. Sometimes I'll put her in Axe of Strife, which of course gives more critical hit, right? And then I will use Sharpen Crests. So I do have level 4 Sharpen Crests, and that's an additional 10% crit. So along with the destiny bonus, the destiny bonus does calculate into your basic. Excuse me, there you go. So there's my crit chance at a base of 17%. So then the artifact, so the crest will add 10%, so that's 27% crit chance. It's a pretty good amount of crit chance. And then if I really wanted to, of course, I could go into artifacts and move her. And let's do that anyway, I'll show you guys. Move her into the Axe of Strife. And that's another 20%, so you're looking at 47% crit chance. I think it just adds on like that, I could be wrong. But there you go. That's one of the ways that I run her if I want that high crit chance. I usually do that on Guild Wars or just basic raiding, because I have the rest of my team kind of backing her up, right? So with Walla Walla in there doing all the healing for her, then she doesn't really need all that much high dodge rate. Shall we take her out for a spin by herself? I'm not gonna get crazy with this. I'm kind of gonna look for a base where I can just whack the heroes from to show you guys the amount of damage, and this looks like a perfect one, right? I'll just start here from the corner and we'll try and see how much damage she does once she hits the heroes. So of course you don't, that's 195,000. You don't really see the damage when the hero dies. Alright, so she's gonna wipe them out, no problem. So that's right, not even a challenge, right? When I want to try and get we want to actually try and see how often it crits, and then see what the see what that crit damage is. Bam! So 500, was that 500,000? 462,000, right? So we are one-shotting a group of heroes, right? Several heroes are dropping by one shot. So, and as you can see, there was a GS in there. I mean, and she took no damage, right? That's good enough. We'll try another one here. So even with the maximum amount of crit, I'm not even doing the maximum amount of dodge that she has, she still has a pretty good survivability chance. So let's see, I'll just put her right there. Of course, there's no one here that can even touch her. She's gonna take no damage from anyone. So here's the miss, 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 zero, miss, miss. Okay, she got hit kind of hard that time, but you see how much healing she can do now with the amount of damage that she does. So she healed from that quite easily. And you know, I do not miss the Scorch whatsoever. I just love the way that this works. So I could go maximum dodge. And the way that I would do that is to put her back from the Axe of Strife back into the Lightning Rock to give her another 15% dodge rate. And then I could increase her, I could remove this and increase her defense by using something like, did have a Flame Guard around here somewhere. Okay, so we'll take that from him. Flame Guard. Right, so that's 20% deflect. And then we'll give her the Elephant Pet. Of course, she won't have any heals, but she'll have a higher dodge rate. So you guys gotta remember that when you use the Elephant Pet on her, it's only gonna do 2 heroes with the lowest HP. So you're not gonna get that additional dodge with the Elephant Pet if you're running all 5 heroes, right? Because her HP is super high. So, but if you're doing something like this, where you're just putting her out by herself, then of course she's the only hero out there. She's gonna get that extra dodge. So do we calculate the extra dodge now? So If it triggers, that's 30% extra along with 15% plus 30 something percent. So if everything is triggered at one time, you're looking at a 70-80% dodge rate, something like that. That's just insane, right? And we can test out that survivability. And we're getting some very favorable bases. So here you go, miss, 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 miss. And they're barely even scratching her, and then she does this huge damage because she still has the 8 of 8 War God. And I'm not certain she's going to survive all these heroes, but you can check out that survivability. So she had several heroes on her plus the Walla Walla. I think she did pretty well, just as well as if she would have had Scorch. So I'm not upset about that at all. You know, that happens, several different heroes. Let's bring her back here real quick. We'll try that again. Okay, so same type of heroes, actually. And there you go. All misses. She's doing okay. Here comes a couple heroes plus Michael. And yes, look at that, surviving, and of course. So, of course, that is the one little tiny problem. She's doing so much more damage that if so happens someone like Michael starts to proc, she hits Michael, and then, you know, she kills herself. That's just something you gotta deal with, right? Okay, and there's one last setup that I can show you guys that I like to do for defense. So here be monsters or just regular base defense. I'll show that to you guys, and that is just to give her an empower. I do have a level 4 empower crest set, so I believe that's every 8 or 9 seconds she will proc, right? And then with that, I won't need her to dodge very much, so I'll put her back in the Axe of Strife. And then we can give her back to Angie Pet for the healing. Okay, and I'll just do a hero trial here, something simple, but there you go. You can see the energy building, and then bam, a few seconds goes by, bam, she hits again, hits again. Alright, here she goes. Oh, that was already a win. Ooh, 85 gems, cool. Let's try 18. I think I can handle 18. It's Triantar. We'll speed this up a bit. So, watch her, there she goes, bam. So, it's every 8 or 9 seconds she will just hit somebody, so it's great for defense. Triantar. Bam. Okay, and I do like to do maximum crit when I'm running some arena. Let's do that. And she is still in extra strength. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do a few arena runs right here. Piece of cake. The reason why I like showing arena runs, especially when I'm doing a build video, is because it's more of a true heroes versus heroes situation. You know, when you're doing raiding, the defensive guy has the defensive bonus from the base, right? So you can show that, but it won't be as accurate as something like Arena or Lost Battlefield when it's just hero versus hero. So hopefully you can, okay, here's a nice one. My demo got taken out. Okay, I don't know what kind of Skeletica that is there. Look, it's taking some damage for sure. I'm gonna lose that because they went around and are hitting the base. Unless somehow I can kill that Rockno before he finishes off the 1%. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Rockno will eventually get that, I think. Oh, see? Oh, that was a cool fight. Let's try that again. Maybe I can get lucky. It's kind of amazing how much... Okay, so you see, that's definitely got to be a Scorched Skeletica who didn't do as well that time at all. Got worked that time. That must be a Deadly Strike SK, because it took out a whole bunch of... Am I gonna get that one? Hey, I got that one. So you guys can tell me down in the comment section how you guys feel about my new Skeletica build. Whether you think what I did was worth it or not. Do you think she's better than the Skeletica that I had before? So 8 of 8 War God with all the dodge traits versus 8 of 8 Scorch versus with all the dodge traits. For me, I am not missing Scorch at all, like I said, and she is easily my #1 favorite hero now. I use her in every single game mode that there is. She is present. Right on, guys, that's all I got for you in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I hope I covered everything. If you guys have any questions, you can let me know down in the comment section. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and of course, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. Right on, guys. This is Kaz. I'll check you later. Signing out.